If you are new to the channel, then subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for further notification. Okay student, welcome to lecture 19 series of this our switchgear and protection. So for diploma students, we are back in our syllabus now again because we will be starting distance relay, distance protection in a transmission line. So before going to that, we are starting overcurrent relays. So what was the problem in the overcurrent relays and due to which this distance relay came into the picture? So one of the main problems of overcurrent relay was the reach, because it was never fixed. We have given also some hint in the initial classes that the reach is not never fixed. So we'll see how the reaches are not fixed. Why the reach of the relay is changing? Because the magnitude of fault current that is keep on changing. That depends on the fault and the source impedance. It is not a fixed quantity, the fault current, because type is can also change the fault current. There are severe fault, there are less severe fault. Triple L fault is triple LG is the highest, then triple L, then double LG, then double L. Similarly, as per severity, it reduces up to a level to LG fault. And as fault is an uncertain event, the source impedance you also don't know. How many generators are connected at that time, at this instant, you don't know. You know, but at the time the fault will occur, you will never know a priority. Beforehand, you will never know what will be the generator connected during that fault and from where the power is coming, you will not know. So hence overcurrent protection is the backup for high voltage transmission lines or high voltage systems. It is not the original primary protection for high voltage system, but it is primary for low voltage system due to cost. So for low voltage, it is still preferred as a primary protection, but for high voltage, that is in transmission lines, these overcurrent relay has been used as a backup. So the primary becomes your distance relay. So how the reach varies? The first one is the reach varies because there is a change in the type of fault. Suppose this one we have taken. Suppose there is a simple feeder I have taken, just one generator source, and this is the bus A and this is the line B. Suppose I want to protect only this line, this portion. My reach should be here to here. Relay should sense any fault between these two. So what should be my setting? I should put some IPU, that is threshold value. Now suppose this is my axis. You can see the axis now. Suppose this is this is the fault current line. I have not written. This is your fault current. This axis. It will decrease with the distance. This is the distance axis. These two axes are there. Now suppose I have set a value of IPU. This is my threshold level. This level. IPU. Anything above that should be detected as fault. So on what basis I have given? I have given it on the LLG fault. You can see the middle line, the LLG fault. LLG fault touches here. So this is your point B in the bus. So for line to ground fault, any line to ground fault between these A and B will be detected. For a less severe fault, that is double L fault. So for less severe fault, what will happen? Suppose my IPU is 10 ampere. Hypothetically, I am just saying IPU is equal to 10 ampere. So here any LLG fault occurs, 10 ampere will come. Before that, if there is in line to ground fault, the current will be more. Now what will happen for a less severe, for a LL fault? Now for a LL fault, to happen this 10 ampere current for LL fault, this should occur near, because LL fault is less severe. It will give less current. So if LL fault occurs here, it will not give you 10 ampere. So 10 ampere will give, suppose here there is LL fault, it will give 10 ampere. So you can see for LL fault, your 10 ampere is coming here only. So the relay can sense up to this much only. So the your reach becomes A to B1 now. If LL fault happened here, suppose there is a LL fault in between, your current will be less than 10 and relay will not detect. So it is underreaching. So we say the relay underreaches. It is not solving its purpose of protecting the entire line AB. It is just protecting AB1. Similar case for more severe fault. For more severe fault, you can see for triple L fault. Triple L fault, because it will give very high value of current. So even if your fault is at very far at B2, then only you will get 10 ampere. Here you will get more, 20. For triple L fault, I will say 20. Because triple L fault will be more severe fault, it will give more current. So you can have 10 ampere current up to here. So your reach now becomes over reach. It is now A to B2. From A to B2. So if it goes A to B2, then what is the problem? Because there will be relays in between them. 1 relay, 2 relay, 3 relay. So it will overtake other relays and it will start sensing. So there will be primary, backup, then primary. So you don't know which one will be primary. Primary, then backup, then backup. So the coordination problem becomes very problematic in that case. So the relay can be overreach, relay can be underreach. So this one with respect to different types of faults you have seen. So that is the problem that mainly occurs in our overcurrent protection. Here you can see IPU was set for triple L fault. The corresponding reach is AB. For triple L, it overreaches, now goes to AB2. And reverse happened for double L fault. For less severe faults, it reduces to AB1. Even you go below double L, there is a LG fault. It will further reduce. The reach will further reduce. So what one more effect is there, due to which the reach changes, that is due to source impedance variation. Now here I have shown you the effect of source impedance variation. Now here you can see that your source impedance ZS is not a fixed quantity. I have given a variable signs to indicate that it is varying, because you don't know at the time of fault what generator will be connected, how many generators will be connected, what will be the source impedance. Because as impedance changes, your fault current will also change. Fault current will be E divided by this Z plus ZL. That is up to the line section where the fault occurred. That is the fault current. This axis is your again fault current and this is your length. So this current is nothing but, I have given the maximum current E by ZS1. As of now, you remember ZS1 is equal to this ZS plus ZL. Why it is written 1? You will let it know after next 1 or 2 classes. So now, as of now, you remember this one. Suppose you have set for a particular time, you know that my source impedance is ZS2. So I have set my ZS2 so that my IPU reaches up to this much. This is my IPU level, suppose 10 ampere. So 10 ampere will be reaching. I want to protect this feeder from A to B. So up to this much, if there is any fault here, because ZS is this much, the fault current will be 10 ampere. Now suppose due to change in the number of generators, your source impedance increases, ZS3 is increases. Now as it increased, you will get this 10 ampere current here only, because it is increased, so fault current will get reduced. So if you take less length, so your ZL will also get reduced. So this ZS plus ZL will remain same, because this is increased, so you want to reduce this. So you will find the fault current 10 ampere here only. So you can see your reach is now AB1. The relay will not protect the entire line AB, because it will get 10 ampere much before it, much before B. You are getting now, if you take the entire B, then your total Z is increased. So the fault current will reduce. It will not anything fault occur here. If ZS3, if my source impedance is now ZS3, if any faults occur, it will not sense, because in that case, because this is increased, so you reach 10 ampere here, so here it will not be 10 ampere, it will be less than 10 ampere, 8, 5, but your setting is 10, so it will not trip. So relay under reaches. Similarly, if you decrease the ZS1, it will go up to here, because now it can have a flexible to go more, because your source impedance is less, you are fixing 10 ampere threshold. So to get 10 ampere, it can reach beyond your AB, so it can take more ZL. So the ZS plus ZL remain fixed, because ZS is reduced. So same here, as the source impedance decreases, the reach of the relay increases, and vice versa, and the reverse happens. If you do the reverse, not vice versa, and the reverse thing happen, well, if you increase the source impedance, then the reach will decrease. Now what is the principle of overcurrent protection? Now the distance relay take care of this reach problem, because here reach is fixed. This is used primarily for the protection of network lines, that is your transmission line. So it compares a PT and a current. So that at the relay location it estimates what is the Z. So it will sense this CT-PT to have some idea about ZS. Why it is known as distance relay? It is known as distance relay because the impedance relay, the impedance that the relay is seeing is directly proportional to the distance of the transmission line. If transmission line is increased, then your corresponding impedance is also increased. That's why it is known as distance relay, because it is directly proportional, impedance is directly proportional to your Z. Longer transmission line will have larger impedance. But the actual division of voltage and current is rarely done. We will see how it is done. Let's see an example, simple drawing, how it operates. Suppose there is a CT, there is a PT, it is sensing this one. Suppose this is the reach, this is the set point which you want to protect it. So if there is an internal fault, if there is a fault here, it will get V and I, and what will be V? V will be I into this Z. So what do you think? V by I, this Z will be less than your Z set. Total length was 10. You know now you know the circuit is something like that. Because it is not going the entire line, it is closed by here because fault is here. So what will be the impedance? This impedance is less than your total impedance, because you are doing V by I for this circuit. So for this circuit, if you do V by I, you will get a less Z compared to this Z set value. So if it go less than that, then it will trip. If it is external for if it is outside, then your ZL3 is more than your Z set, then it will not trip. So the reach is fixed here. Or let me draw it one more time here. Suppose the fault is now, this was the section. This is my Z set value. Now the fault is here. So you are sensing from here, you are sensing voltage and current. So what will be my Z? This will be my Z, ZL. But what was the actual Z? Actual Z was from here to here. So if you are doing the KVL here, your ZL will be obviously less than your Z set, because it is not taking the full path, it is taking only this much path. So your Z that is calculated by the relay will be less than your this Z set. So hence it will trip. So now you got it. This is the idea of how your distance protection works. So next we will see how many CTs would be required, how many PTs will be required, what current it will sense, what voltage, because in three-phase line there will be lots of current, lots of voltages, line current, line voltages, phase voltages, line current, phase currents, and unfortunately there are sequence network little bit concepts also. But as the diploma students, you are not aware of symmetrical components for unsymmetrical faults. So what we will do, we will skip that derivations part for symmetrical, unsymmetrical faults, sequence network, and some of the results from that derivation we will assume it as true, and then we will proceed. We will not do the derivation. We will just think that this is true, and how this is true you will know when you know symmetrical fault component in your later stage. So for now we will assume something from the symmetrical faults, and we will just proceed to some basics of the different types of distance relays. Okay, that's all for. If you liked the video, then press the like button and please give your valuable comments in the comment section.